What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 4, Episode 7 of Hit the Books, podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking in everything surrounding sports. This week, we're ready to talk more of the NFL season. Week 7 is here, lots of recaps and reviews, plus some college football, as well as the NHL season is here. We got our power rankings here for that, as well as all of other things in the MLB postseason. But with that, let's jump into this week's episode and introduce my co-hosts Huff and Mackie here this week. Mackie, why don't you get us started here with Week 7 of the NFL?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Very disappointing game for my Cowboys last week, but honestly, I'm just kind of caught up in the Mets right now in the NLCS right now. It's tied 1-1 with the Dodgers, game 3 tonight. Pretty historic season for them going so far, so hoping to keep it going.
Heck yeah, lots of good stuff out of your Mets for sure. Electric to watch right now. Huff, why don't you get us going here? What do you think's happening this week?
Yeah, like Mackie said, I don't have a team in the race. I do root for those New York Yankees across the side of town, so I'm just hoping we get a Subway Series in the World Series. Baseball's been electric the past couple of weeks. I love the MLB playoffs, especially when it gets to the DS and CS. The wild card round I like better when it was a one-game knockout compared to the best of 3, but that's just my opinion. I know we didn't even see many of them get to 3. I think we saw, 2 of them out of the 4? But
one of them. I think the Mets are the only one.
I think the Mets, I think you're right. I think the Mets are the only one that even made it to the 3rd game. I do miss when it was the one-game wild card, but baseball's been great. I haven't been great in the world of the NFL, so glad I'm enjoying football. Hockey's back. I could take my mind off the NFL and get a little bit of a restart here as I'm, just under 5 units in the year in the NFL. It hasn't been going my way, but we got a good slate this week, a great slate of college football this Saturday. I do think we should start out with the MLB. These playoffs have been great. Let's get right into the MLB.
Yeah, let's do it here. The New York Yankees currently holding 2-0 series lead over the Cleveland Guardians in the ALCS. Series shifts back to Cleveland for games 3 and 4 and 5 if needed. Do you think the Yankees pull this out? And if so, how many games do you think it's going to take? What are you guys thinking about this series here? Yankees and Guardians.
Mackie, what do you think here? How many games? Because I know we both think the Yankees win this.
I was there last night. It's pretty electric. I just feel, the Yankees are too overpowering. They're playing baseball like they should be playing baseball. They're way better roster, way better team all around. I honestly think it could be over in 4. I might give the Guardians 1 game, but this series does not get back to New York. I'm gonna say Yankees in 5. I think that they're on a hunt right now. They're playing baseball like they should be playing. And I think we could be looking at a Subway Series.
I really hope that's what we get for the TV's sake. I do think the Yankees sweep them. Guardians look like they kind of wore themselves out in the last series. I'm already blanking on who these teams played. Yankees had the Royals. Guardians had
Tigers.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of sold out. That was a divisional matchup in the divisional round. They got through a hell of a game in Game 5 to advance to this spot. They just look dead in the water to me. I think the Yankees, like you said, are just a little bit overpowering. Tomorrow you get Clark Schmidt on the mound. Who's going for the Guardians? Matthew Boyd, former Tiger. Yankees are just a slight favorite in that one. I do have the Yankees sweeping this series, but like you said, I wouldn't be surprised to see it go 5. I don't think you'll see another game at Yankee Stadium until the World Series.
And Judge, he had a home run last night, but they're already up 4-2 at the point.
That had to be fucking crazy, dude. I was watching that, and I was like,
so close to me too. And it was
I was sitting there. I was like, that's kind of looks like where his seats were.
It hung up in the air for so long, and you're just watching the center fielder go back and back, and you're like, this is gonna get over the fucking wall.
Yeah,
it just made it over the wall.
It probably looks like it's over the wall as soon as he hits it.
Yeah, the place just erupted. It was pretty electric. But getting back to Judge, he has not been playing well at all, and they're still finding ways to get the score runs.
Dude, he's been so good.
Well. Anthony Volpe playing. Not Anthony Volpe. Anthony Rizzo playing very well, very good baseball right now. I think he's batting like .450 in the playoffs. No, it's only.
And he's injured. He's still kind of injured. They said.
Yeah, they're just getting the help from the lineup that they haven't gotten all season. So it's nice to see that from a pretty stacked roster.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy because as a fan of a small market team in the Pirates, it seems like everyone in America is just rooting against the Dodgers here because they just want to see the Mets beat them. And then I'm not saying the Yankees are a Cinderella story, but you don't hear many people rooting for Cleveland. I feel like that's a team that not many people hop on. The Yankees obviously have the big following. I'm from Pittsburgh, no attachment to the Yankees other than I liked Derek Jeter when I was younger, and it just kind of carried over. I feel like people are rooting for the Yankees and the Mets to do in my case, I want to see the Subway Series. A lot of people are rooting against these Dodgers it's weird to see New York like get the love that like they never get in these kind of scenarios. Like everyone's always like, fuck New York, get them out of there. Like, you know what, you have to know what I mean. Like people hate
Oh,
when the Rangers
definitely.
go far. They hate when the Yankees go far. Like
I think
it's weird this time around. Like people are hopping on the Yankees. They're hopping on the Mets. It's weird.
I think people are just they know it's good. It'll be good, really good for baseball. Seeing a Subway Series in the social media era, I know we saw it in 2000 before like all of that hype was around social media, obviously. But in the social media area, it's gonna go crazy, and I mean everyone's gonna get involved. I think it'll be really good for baseball. And honestly, these two teams kind of hate each other. There's been some beef with Stanton and Lindor in these regular season games. So I mean, these teams don't have a lot of love. They're both playing really good baseball. It'd be a great head-to-head matchup. I mean, I don't think many people are rooting for anything else.
Yeah. I know we haven't got into this series yet, or jump into this Dodgers series because I have an opinion on this game.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of great stuff there out of the AL, but let's jump over to the NL here. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the New York Mets are tied 1 game apiece in the NLCS. The series is shifting back to Citi Field in New York for games 3, 4, and 5. Who do you have winning this series and how many games?
Mackie, go
Mackie,
ahead.
your Mets.
I'm gonna go Mets in 6.
I agree.
Think,
Spot on. They win 2 in New York. They lose 1. They close it out the first game in LA because if you lose that, you're not winning Game 7.
yeah, it's really tough. I mean, you can't be down 3-2 going back to LA. No matter
No.
what, even if you win Game 6, you're probably not going to take both of them in LA. We did our job. We won a game in LA in the first 2 games. Come back, just take 2 out of 3 and you're good. You take 2 out of 3 at home, you'll be fine. They play incredible baseball at home. They just swept the Phillies at home. Taking care of business. I don't really see a team beating this team 4 times out of 7. I know it's the Dodgers. They're probably the most stacked roster we've seen in the last 10, 20 years. But I mean,
What's
the
been
Mets
crazy with
Mets match up with them really well, and they have the pitching advantage at the end of the day.
Yeah, they do. And I was gonna say, like tonight, by the time people are listening to this, that game will be over, and someone will have a 2-1 series lead. I like the Mets tonight back at Citi Field. You get Severino against Buehler. Buehler has not been good this year at all.
Shelled.
Give me the hot bats of the Mets to take this one. I think this could even get into a high scoring game over 7.5. But I love the Mets in this spot. Like I said, by the time you're listening to this will be over, so you can check those. But I'm bigger on the Mets than that over. I'd take the Mets now, Mackie. I don't know if you did already. I assume you did.
Listen, gonna be 40 degrees tonight. Dodgers haven't played in cold weather yet in the playoffs. They get to play in LA and San Diego in that last series. Obviously, they had off in the wild card, so they got to travel across the country, play in some uncomfortable weather. You could see a lot of cold bats going, and I mean the Mets are used to it, and they're playing really good baseball. So I wouldn't bet against this team right now. Listen, I'm not gonna say that they're a lock to win this game, but I mean going back home with all the momentum they have, with the way that they're playing, the bats, Vientos hitting a grand slam last game, Lindor at the leadoff home run, just the big guys are stepping up. I wouldn't bet against the team right now.
Yeah. I also have the Mets in 6. I think we're going to get the Mets Yankees, and then I'll make my pick for that series when that happens.
Heck yeah, like you guys said, this MLB postseason is electric. Lots to look forward to, so make sure you stay tuned for any picks that we have on our Instagram and Twitter every day if these games are happening here up until this World Series.
We've been good in the MLB playoffs too. Been very selective when we play stuff, but we've been good.
Dude, I was getting memories. We started the last year's MLB playoffs like 7-0. It was crazy.
I know. I remember that.
That's awesome.
We're good in the MLB playoffs.
Yep. All right, let's backtrack a little bit here. Week 6 of the NFL was last week. Lots of games that we definitely didn't care for, but definitely some high scoring throughout the week. Any games that you guys specifically want to touch on? This Thursday night football game, 49ers taking down the Seahawks, 36-24. Steelers extending their record to 4-2 in Las Vegas. The Bears winning outright in London.
What I do want to point out, Mackie, I remember telling you on the live stream, I like the Ravens minus 6.5, and I thought it was going to be very close to 6.5. They won by 7. I felt very good about that.
I got the Commanders plus 7.5 too.
Damn.
Late in the game, I got them plus 7.5, and that was a sweat because the Ravens were driving down the field, and if they stopped, it was 3rd and 1. If they stopped and they were kicking a field goal, it would have been a 10-point game. But
yeah,
Commanders hung around. Listen, like I said, I wasn't going to overreact if they lost that game. Commanders looked good. They hung with the best. That was a good game by Jaden Daniels. That team's legit, and I don't really think they're going anywhere. That's all they had to do was play against the big dogs and show that they're actually worthy of being there. And I think that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. You hinted at your Cowboys, not a good showing there. 47-9, the largest home loss in Jerry Jones' ownership era, as well as the largest or the first time the Cowboys have started 0-3 at home, and I forget how many years I saw that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get too angry about this, just because honestly, I don't have much faith in this team as it is. But
Yeah.
just soft football. Dak's not playing the worst football of all time, but he's not playing like a $60 million quarterback. Looks way overpaid right now. Just a bunch of soft players right now. I know we have no pass rush right now, and we played against probably the best offense in the league. But I mean, you got to do something. You can't lose 47-9 on your home turf, especially in a game like that. Sitting at 3-2, you have to win that game. Now you're sitting at 3-3. Division looks. I know they're a game out, but it looks really far away from the Cowboys even like touching a NFC East championship. But I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in this team right now. The defense looks absolutely hard.
Yeah, the only thing you have to lean on is the fact that, I mean, the Commanders lost and the Eagles kind of look like they're having their own issues, even though they picked up a win.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Our schedule coming up is not friendly, and we're not going to beat any of these powerhouse teams. Not playing like this.
Yeah.
Super low scoring game in Sunday Night Football, the Bengals and Giants, and Monday Night Football going over the total by just 2 points. I had the under. Sad day. Sad week. Any other games you guys want to touch on?
No, I think that's it. Let's get into this.
Cool.
What's next? Week 7?
Yeah, let's jump into week 7 here, but let's do our power rankings here first. Coming in at number 5, the Texans. Number 4, Detroit Lions. Number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, the Minnesota Vikings. And number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. What are you guys thinking about these here through 6 weeks of the NFL season?
I think that's a good list. The Lions are definitely a top 5 team. They just showed. I know Mackey just down talked his Cowboys and showed doesn't have much faith in them, but that's a very good performance from the Lions. It's still not an easy place to go in and play, and you put up a 47 spot. Ravens, best offense in the NFL. Vikings, undefeated. Chiefs, as long as they have Patrick Mahomes, they're probably going to be in that top 5. And, I mean, we saw the additions that the Bills made with Amari Cooper. We can kind of touch on that. Devontae Adams is officially a Jet now. A lot of these teams are reloading. I was waiting on the Bills or the Chiefs to Chiefs have acquired DeAndre Hopkins from the Titans or any of these kind of middle-of-the-line receivers that are rumored to be on the move. Chiefs still sit there at 1, but Vikings, Ravens, Lions, Texans. I think you could put a couple teams in that 5 spot, but I think the top 4 is pretty solid.
No, I think we got it right. I think you got to put the Texans there,
especially after beating the Bills. Bills getting a win against the Jets, divisional win makes that win look a little better too.
Yeah, I think we got it right.
Heck yeah, lots of good stuff there. Let's jump into week 7 here, starting out with our Thursday night football matchup. The Denver Broncos heading to New Orleans to visit the Saints. Broncos are the favorite here. 2.5 is the spread. 37 the total. Minus 145 on the money line. Saints plus 120. What do you guys think about this week 7 Thursday night football matchup?
Saints are in shambles, losing 4 straight. They started 2-0. Everyone thought they were a top 3 team in the league. They haven't done anything.
We had them in our week 1 power ranking.
Dude, I think they were second.
They were 4th. They were right in front of the Bucs.
Getting into it
earlier today.
They're very banged up. I think Spencer Rattler is going to be starting again. He didn't look terrible last game. He's just not going to do enough. You have no Chris Olave, no Rashid Shaheed. Kamara's questionable. I'm sure he's going to play, but not at 100%. I don't know. I mean, I bet on the Broncos last week. They got off to a really bad start, ended up kind of coming back, making it a game, but I'm definitely not going to have a side in this one. I think the Broncos find a way to eke it out with the banged-up Saints team, but probably a pretty shitty Thursday night football game.
Yeah, I don't like this game. I've been taking these Broncos. I wanted to take them last week. Obviously, it was a good thing I didn't because that would have been another loss. I just have a weird amount of faith in this team. They're playing good. I think they get down in a dome in New Orleans, like you said, all the injuries, everything that New Orleans is dealing with, 4 straight losses. I like the Broncos here. What I do would take more is, I was gonna say their defense is gonna be suspect because he is that whole defense. Maybe a Javonte Williams touchdown, a Bo Nix rushing touchdown. Seeing Bo Nix at plus 225 on an anytime TD score, I do like that. And Javonte at plus 145. So that I'd look at something like that more than a side in this one. Maybe hope you hit one of those. Obviously, lean towards the Bo Nix one, get the more value. But I don't love a side in this one. Obviously, I'm rooting for these Broncos. I just feel like I'm emotionally attached at this point.
They don't look terrible. I mean, like I said, it was a pretty rough first half yesterday, not yesterday, on Sunday, but they came back, made it a football game. It's a divisional matchup, and Bo Nix didn't look terrible, and that defense kind of figured it out after the rough start. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cincy's got hung 51 points on their head, so they don't really have anything going for them either.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have a side in this one, though.
Alrighty, let's jump into the London game of the week. Not really sure if it's in London, but somewhere in Europe, in the UK.
It's in London.
Another London game, yeah.
Is it in London? All right.
Yeah.
I know they switch over to somewhere else or whatever.
This might be the worst game I've ever seen in my entire life.
2 1-5 teams here. Patriots and Jaguars. Jaguars the favorite here. 5.5 points total at 42.5. What are you guys thinking here? Early game, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Same thing we've been seeing these past couple of weeks. What do you think the Jags are going to be able to do here with the Patriots?
Give me the Pats plus the 5.5. I think it's going to be a closer game, probably a more low-scoring game. Drake May did not look terrible. I mean, he didn't look great. He had some really good throws. I think he just needs to kind of calm down and settle into his system. But if they let him sling the football around, I think he's going to make some big plays. I think with how bad their defense is when you're playing against the Jags and Trevor Lawrence, it's not that much of a problem right now. And they're going overseas, so it's going to be a lot more of a slow-paced game. I'm going to go with the Patriots plus the 5.5. I'm not going to say they're going to win outright. Jags probably should get the win, but I'm going to say it's a close game.
I like the over. I think that Drake May showed enough that he's going to be able to put up points. 42.5. Jaguars obviously have been in London now for 2 weeks, so they're not getting that travel issue this week. Don't know when the Patriots are heading out there. Jags lost me big last week against the Bears. They were up 3-0 and then just didn't answer the rest of that first half and couldn't really come back much. But I don't love a side in this one. I do like the over. I think there's going to sneaky be some points here. I trust Drake May to, at least put something up. Ace at least has something to root for with those Patriots now. So I'd like to see them putting up some points this week and, him take another step in that growth because I do think he is going to be a good young quarterback. Obviously, that team around him is just brutal.
Yeah, he's in a pretty shitty situation. I think he showed about as much as he can, especially with all the pressure down his neck with that terrible offensive line. I'm not going to say he's the third overall pick, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the two ahead of him are definitely way better, but I think he can have a career in the NFL.
Yeah, the one that he's going to get compared to until Penix plays is Bo Nix.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because after Penix,
not a bad comparison either. I mean, Bo Nix is playing pretty good football, so
yeah. Bo Nix also has just been starting since week 1. He's 3-3, has a 3-game win streak under his belt already as a starter. But I like Drake May.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots of good stuff here out of our London game here for week 7. Let's jump into our Sunday 1 o'clock slate, but don't forget about our Sunday live streams, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, YouTube, Rumble, and TikTok, going over our favorite matchups for the day and giving our best bets on those. But our first 1 o'clock matchup here is the Seattle Seahawks heading to Atlanta to see the Falcons. The Falcons are the favorite here, just 3 points total at 51. Falcons money line at minus 155. Seahawks at plus 130. What do you guys think about this first 1 o'clock matchup?
Mac, you've been big on these Falcons.
Yeah, and they're paying off. I know it was a pretty heavy spread last week in a divisional matchup on the road, but they put up 38. Huff, I think I said in the podcast last week they were gonna. Was that you or Ace in the pod last week?
Ace.
It was Ace.
I said last week.
I said I could see them winning by double-digit points, probably 2-3 touchdowns. They won by 18, hung 38 on their head. Bijan finds the end zone twice. Finally, he can get into the end zone. I think they keep it rolling. I'm not really big on the Seahawks team. I think they're a little overrated, and when they run into teams like this is when they kind of find their problems. I think Kirk Cousins is playing great football. Gets everyone involved. Darnell Mooney is having a really good year. Obviously Drake London as well. Kyle Pitts not really finding it yet, but he's always there as an option. And I love that defense. I've said it time and time again. I think that they're going to cover the 3 points here. They're on their home turf. This is probably going to be on my card.
Yeah, I do lean on the Falcons here for the sake, like you said. Seahawks, though, in these kinds of spots historically, I feel like haven't done well. I like the Falcons to continue handling business. They've looked very good. They look like a fun team. They've kind of stepped in and become one of those teams in the NFC that are definitely on the up and up. Falcons, I mean, they're 4-2. They're 3-3 against the spread. Seattle can't cover a spread to save their life. 1-4 and 1 against the spread right now. They're pushed being back in week 1. So in the past 5 weeks, Seahawks are 1-5 against the spread. Give me the Falcons here minus the 3 points.
Seahawks on a 3-game losing streak as well, so not looking good for them.
Mm-hmm. Drake London touchdown in that game too. He's been a monster.
51.5 on the over-under. It's probably the highest of the week.
A lot. Yeah, I believe it is the highest week.
Yeah, Drake London touchdown.
There's a 52.
Where?
Yeah, Panthers Commanders. But half the point, you know. Alrighty, like I said, great start to our 1 o'clock slate there. Let's jump into this next one here. 1-4 Titans going up against the 4-2 Bills in Buffalo. Bills are the favorite, 9.5 points here, probably the biggest spread of the week. Total 41. What are you guys thinking about this game in Buffalo?
Is this the slaughter of the week, Mackie? What do you think?
And Will Levis is so bad. I see it week in and week out. He
He's
had
terrible.
every
Give me
chance.
the Bills minus 9.5. I can't bet on him.
Every chance to win that game last week too.
The one game, that Monday night game, when there was 2 Monday night games, it was Bengals, Commanders, and Titans, Dolphins. I had the Pollard first team and the Pollard anytime. I was watching most of that Titans game. When they put in Mason Rudolph, they literally looked like a decent team. Like, not decent. They were still playing the injured Dolphins, but, like, Mason Rudolph was moving the ball. Will Levis is so bad,
dude. He doesn't get enough hate, I think. I think people still have so much faith in him. What do you see in this guy? I don't understand. I said it before the season, and people were like, watch out for a Will Levis breakout year. No, not a Will Levis breakout year. First of all, he's not even on a good enough team for him to just do enough to get the wins.
No.
He has to do enough to get the wins, and he's just not playing well. He makes so many stupid mistakes. He tries to do way too much with the football. I can't see a close game here.
Bills are also, this is a 1 o'clock slaughter spot for the Titans. They're going to get murdered. No one's going to watch this game. It's going to be one of the more boring games come the second half. Bills are going to be up 20 or double digits. If you're scared of 9.5, I think Bills is the easiest teaser spread you're going to get. I don't see a scenario where they lose this game. Get them at 2.5 or 3.5, whatever it would be. I don't see a scenario where they only win this game by 3.
Agreed.
Alrighty, next matchup here. The Battle of Ohio here. Bengals heading to Cleveland to see the 1-5 Browns. Bengals are the favorite here, sit by an even 6, total 41.5. Bengals money line at minus 275. Browns plus 220. Does Deshaun Watson? I have something funny to say. I heard, and they're obviously joking, that that the Browns are playing Deshaun Watson for public shame.
Public shame, and well, they're also playing for a number 1 overall pick at this point because there's obviously the rumors that Myles Garrett or Max Crosby or any of these pieces should get traded to the Lions. I personally think they should take the Hassan Reddick route because the asking price is going to be a lot lower because he's obviously holding out from the Jets. But if the Browns move on from Myles Garrett, that just shows it's fire sale in Cleveland. They can't get this season over fast enough. And I think your best chance to get the number 1 overall pick is leave Deshaun Watson at quarterback.
Sadly, you're correct.
Yeah, Jameis is not even a bad option, but obviously they don't even want to try to defend the season anymore.
They know
Nick
they're
Chubb
so
hasn't
out
seen
of
the
the
field yet.
division, and they know they're not going to be a
last
wild.
week. I'm not sure what his availability is.
Chubb's playing this week, though.
Amari Cooper gone. He's playing this week?
Yeah, Chubb. He's projected 6 fantasy points. So
yeah, he's gonna have 10 rushes. He's gonna be in like 15 plays. They're just gonna kind of work his way in. They're not gonna risk anything, obviously, with a 1-5 record. But I mean, Bengals didn't look that good either last week. I'm not gonna say, dude, was it the Browns that looked decent last week, or is it the Eagles that just didn't look good?
I've heard. I didn't watch that game either. I heard the Eagles didn't look very good.
I believe Eagles did not look good.
Yeah, pretty shitty game.
They were losing in that game, and then did you hear all the shit? I don't know what's going on with my window. This light right here, I can't control that. I don't know if you guys saw the clips of Sirianni bitching to the fans.
Sirianni is the worst human of all time.
That guy's a terrible coach. If he was ever the coach of my team, I don't know if I could root for them.
Yeah, he was chirping the Browns fans after beating them.
He was chirping the Eagles fans.
Chirping the Eagles fans after beating them 20-16. The Browns are 1-5 with Deshaun Watson playing quarterback. So
yeah,
not much to brag about, but I guess whatever works for you works. But he probably won't be there for another 4 or 5 weeks.
I think their next loss they could fire him.
They want him out the door. They just kind of need a reason right now.
They needed like a bad loss. Like, could you imagine if with how the Cowboys look right now, that Cowboys game in 2 or 3 weeks, isn't it in Dallas?
I don't know. I don't even know what the Cowboys schedule looks like. I'm so tuned out of that fucking team.
I just remember seeing they play the Cowboys in a couple weeks. I don't know where it is. If it's it'd be even better if it's in Philly. And if
week 10 in Dallas.
Imagine the Cowboys do what Detroit just did to them. Like, see ya, Sirianni. He's gone.
Speaking of, why the fuck is Mike McCarthy still fucking coaching? But
Yeah, that's one
I'm
they
not
need to
gonna
get rid
into
of.
Dallas.
Jerry Jones freaking out on radio. He should be firing a fucking head coach.
I need to drop. I didn't say that. But Bengals -6. I think they should get the job done. Divisional matchup on the road, kind of a higher spread. But I mean, Browns are dead in the water. Bengals kind of playing for something. Get the 3 and 4 here.
Bengals still think they're in it. They need this game.
Backdoor cover last week. It was pretty shitty for Giants +3.5 bettors, but they got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a tough game there, but not too bad one here. The Texans and the Packers at 1 o'clock in Green Bay. The Packers, the favorite, 2.5 points for them, total at 47.5. Packers money line at -150. Texans at +125. What do you guys think about this one?
It's probably game of the week.
This is probably a public play, but I'm going to go with the Texans here. I don't know how you're going to get them at plus money right here. Packers kind of lit up a really weak defense last week. They have a different story in the Houston Texans. Texans are finding ways to win these close games. I know they haven't all been pretty. But I'm going to go with the Texans here on the money line. I see +130. Probably get a better price, but I'm also not that high on this Packers team. That NFC North is a gauntlet.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of like I like the Texans here too. I think this is a good spot for them to come in Lambeau, get 6-1, solidify them as one of those top 5 teams. And obviously they are 5 in our power rankings, but I agree. I think this is a letdown spot for the Packers. They could drop this one at home.
See Joe Mixon come back.
This shows you they just think it's such an even game. Like Packers favored by 2.5 at home. You know what I mean? Like they truly think this is a toss-up.
You also have the Texans going up to Lambeau, and that it's getting kind of cold out. They're used to playing in that dome down there, so not dome, but inside. I could see a pretty rough performance from the Texans offense, but I think it maybe a lower scoring game. I like the under 47.5, but I like the Texans here. I think CJ Stroud wins these tight games.
Yeah, I agree.
Alrighty, keeping it moving here in the 1 o'clock slate. Dolphins and Colts in Indianapolis. Colts the favorite, 3 points for them. Total at 43.5. Colts money line at -165. Dolphins at +140. What do we think about this one here?
I like the Colts. Colts 5-1 against the spread. I know they're dealing with some injuries. Not much going for the Dolphins at all. I won't be betting on them. I can promise you that. Give me the Colts -3. I'll keep this one easy.
Who's playing quarterback?
For the Dolphins?
No, I don't care about the Dolphins. Dolphins suck.
Colts, is it Flacco or is
it should be Flacco.
If it's Flacco, they have a better chance of winning.
Yeah, I like him with Flacco under center.
Guy wins football games. What else can you say? I'm going to go with the Colts here, too. Probably not going to be in my card. Kind of a sketchy spread. Only 3 points. Dolphins are dead in the water. Coming off a win, it's crazy to say that, but they beat the Patriots, so it doesn't say much. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Colts here, too. I'm going to go with the under as well. 43.5. Not going to play that.
I like it. This next one's a very good game.
Yeah, this next one's a great game here. The Detroit Lions heading to the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings the favorite here, just 1.5 points. Total 51. Vikings money line at -125. Lions at +105. Possibly another game of the week here. What do you guys think?
Give me the Lions here. The Vikings got to lose sometime. I think the Lions are the better offense at least. Obviously losing Aiden Hutchinson, that's a big shot to their defense. I still think they have a nice defense that's going to be able to hang in this game. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game, and I like the Lions offense to put up more points. Give me the Lions money line +105.
Give me the Vikings. Lions are at a very buy high spot right now. I think you're going to see a lot of money on them. Everyone's waiting for the Vikings to get their first loss. Sam Darnold is going to look great on Sunday. I think he's going to sling the football. I think it's going to be more of a high scoring game. Lions offense obviously gets theirs every single week. Just put up 47 points. I think they put up 40 the week before. So it's going to be more of a high-scoring game. But I'm not counting out. I think this Vikings team is not overrated. I think they should be 5-0 right now, and they have a really generous schedule coming up. So you can see this team. They get this win, they're probably going to be looking at 9-0 before they even have to play another good team. I like the Vikings here. I think they can get it done. They just signed Cam Akers, I think. Obviously, they have Aaron Jones just trying to get another head in the backfield. But you got Jettas obviously. Hawkinson's still out, I think, but I'm going to trust Sam Darnold here. I like that defense as well.
I like that Vikings team.
They find ways to keep winning football games. I think these teams are going to split, too, and they're going to each win their home game. I'm going to go with the Vikings here to get the job done, stay undefeated.
Yeah, I like that Vikings team. I just love this. I like this spot. This would be a great game.
David Montgomery to get in the end zone too. It's like automatic every freaking week.
Yeah. Alrighty, moving into our final 1 o'clock matchup here for Week 7 on Sunday. Philadelphia Eagles heading to the New York Giants. Eagles the favorite here, just 3 points. The total at 43. Eagles money line at -165. Giants at +140. What do you guys think about this one?
I think we're going to both be on the same side here. I'm going to go with the Giants on the money line. Give me the Giants on their home field. Eagles look like shit recently. I'm not a big Jalen Hurts guy. I never have been, but even this year, it's way worse. I know they got healthy. A.J. Brown looked really good last week, but this Giants team also looks good. They held, in my opinion, a pretty good Bengals team to 3 points up until that final touchdown with, I don't even know, a minute left. Daniel Jones doesn't look like the worst quarterback in the world. He's just kind of getting the job done. And I'm not sure if Devin Singletary's back, but it doesn't matter because what's that guy's name?
Tyrone Tracy.
Tyrone Tracy or something like that. He looked great. I'm going to go with the Giants to get the job done. I think they're playing really good football right now, and the Eagles are doing the opposite. So in a divisional matchup, I'll take the home team.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing here. Kadarius Toney's back for the Giants. I think that's a big spark to their offense. Eagles have struggled defensively. I think they're going to have an issue with him as well as Tracy. I think Daniel Jones' mobility helps them in this game. Obviously, now they're becoming a pretty good rushing offense, and the short passes that Malik Neighbors brings, as well as the deep ball ability. He's a hell of a receiver, and a huge piece to get back in the lineup coming into a divisional matchup at home. Saquon will score in this one because he didn't score last week. He's been doing that a lot.
Homecoming.
He's got to get in the end zone here against the Giants.
Spoiled.
But give me the Giants to win the Saquon return game.
Yeah, he'll get in, but they got to spoil that return. He did that pretty dirty too. So there's a lot on the line here for these Giants fans.
Yeah, here's the other thing I wanted to say is I hate when they do 7 1 o'clock games and 3 4 o'clock games.
Yeah,
the other thing.
No way. There's only 3.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brutal. There's only 2
one of them
guys.
involves the Carolina Panthers. Like no one wants to watch that. This is one of 3 games.
Why are they always in the 4 o'clock slot?
I don't know. Last week they were 2 when they played Vegas.
I don't think anybody's going to watch the Raiders-Rams one either.
The Panthers. If Panthers didn't have cool jerseys, they'd be.
Well, I don't know why. It's because it's Chiefs-Niners, and they want all eyes on that game.
Well, let's jump into this 4 o'clock slate here. Rams and Raiders here in L.A. Rams are the favorite, 6.5 points here. 43.5 is the total. What do we think about this game in L.A. here on the 4 o'clock slate?
Give me the Raiders plus 6.5. They don't need Devontae Adams. They haven't needed him for the last few weeks. I know they looked like shit last week. It's a really good defense. They get a really weak defense this week. Not going to say they're going to sling any footballs out there because who is it? Aiden O'Connell playing quarterback.
Yeah.
But maybe a big game out of like Alexander Madison or something. I don't know. Brock Bowers could have a pretty good game as well. I like the points here over 43.5. But I'm going to go with the Raiders plus 6.5. Sprinkle money line as well.
Yeah, I like the Raiders as well. I also like the under 43.5. I think this is going to be a slower defensive style game. Give me the Raiders plus the points in the under.
Alrighty, let's keep moving through this 4 o'clock slate. Another not so fun game. The Carolina Panthers heading to D.C. to visit the Commanders. Commanders the favorite here. 8 points, even as the spread. Total 52, highest of the week. And I don't even want to read these money lines. What do you guys think here? How do the Commanders take care of the Panthers?
I like the Commanders -8.
Yeah, I think so as well. These high spreads, I think the teams get it done. Panthers are pretty much dead in the water as well. Andy Dalton's not playing bad. He's kind of putting up points. So that's probably the worst defense in the league. Jaden Daniels is going to absolutely torch them.
That's another team that like low-key wants to be losing games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just hard to tank 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have a draft pick last year.
Oh my God.
That's why they're
All
still
for
so
Bryce
bad.
Young.
They didn't get a first-round pick because they wanted Bryce Young that bad.
All for Bryce Young, who they don't even start anymore. Because of Andy Dalton. Wow.
If they get the first pick this year, they should just totally forget the quarterback position, just like Travis Hunter, any of those guys that are just like can't be a fuck-up pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Travis Hunter is probably the only guy that can't be a fuck-up pick, but
yeah,
they could also probably get him like 3rd.
Dude, if they put him with Horn down there, they'd have a nice. I don't know if he's gonna play defense, offense, what the fuck he's gonna do, but that'd be a nice little piece for them to get.
I think they're gonna use. He's gonna be a cornerback, but he's gonna getting
Come
some
on
offense.
offense.
He's
Yeah.
just gonna get some offensive reps. Like they're gonna
He's
have
going to be listed as a corner, though.
Yeah, definitely. He can't play both sides of the ball full game.
No.
Not in the NFL.
He'll have a concussion in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's get into this final 4 o'clock matchup here, the one that everybody's going to be watching. The Kansas City Chiefs heading to San Francisco to visit the 49ers. 49ers are the favorite here, just 1.5 points, total 47. 49ers money line at minus 120. Chiefs at plus 100. What do you guys think about this 425 matchup?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is 11-1 as a dog. I would not bet against him, especially when he's getting points. Jordan Mason is questionable. I think that's gonna be pretty important, but I think anybody you put in that backfield can kind of succeed with that offense and that offensive line. Higher scoring game probably. I think both offenses are gonna be responding to each other, but I'm not gonna bet against Patrick Mahomes as an underdog.
I agree. 49ers haven't looked that great. They've been, they're 3-3. They're 500. They've lost a couple games they shouldn't. I think the Chiefs hand them a loss. Chiefs get the 6-0.
Travis Kelce is back, by the way. 2 games in a row. I think I can officially say that. Hasn't been himself for about a year now, I'd say, but I think he's getting back in the mix, and they're involving him as much as they used to in that offense.
I'll say it again. I said it last week. You and Ace took it on the card. Kittle, touchdown. I've been saying that the past 3 weeks. He's automatic the past couple of weeks for Purdy.
Purdy loves him.
With no McCaffrey, that's who he goes to on the goal line.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Alrighty, let's jump into this Sunday night football matchup. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets heading to Pittsburgh to visit the Steelers. Jets are the favorite. Just 2 points here for them. Total at 38. Jets money line at minus 135. Steelers at plus 115. Huff, what are you thinking the Steelers are going to do here in Sunday Night Football again?
I don't like this line. I guess that's just because they think Russ is going to start and they don't know what to set the line at. But, I'm going to take the Steelers here. I'm more confident with them and Russ under center. I think he'll have the ability to come in, have a good game. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy. They're just going to get him back in the game, get his feet wet. I think Steelers win a low-scoring game. Maybe, 20-16 Steelers win.
I think it's absolutely insane. This line has jumped 3.5 points because you get Devontae Adams. Jets look like shit. Greg Zuerlein can't hit a field goal.
You see Rodgers call him out?
No.
Really?
Rodgers goes, we get down that far in the red zone, you can't hit a field goal. Like, the way he said it, it was like, yeah. Things aren't good in New York.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on that team right now. I think that they are the better team, even though Steelers coming off a really good performance in Vegas. But new quarterback at the helm. I'm gonna stay away from this one. I do kind of like the under though, 38.5.
Yeah, no matter who's playing quarterback for the Steelers, this game will go under.
Definitely solid plays there. Let's jump over to our Monday Night Football game here. The Baltimore Ravens heading to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. The Ravens, the favorite here, 3.5 points, total at 49.5. Ravens money line minus 190. Bucks at plus 155. What do we think about these 4-2 teams here for Monday Night Football?
I will never learn. But Bucks plus 3.5. I'm not gonna take the money line because I can't keep doing that against the Ravens. But it's gonna be a close game. They both two really high flying offenses. Bucks hung 51 points. On the board last week. I think that they keep that going. Baker looked really well. But obviously on the other side of the football, you have Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and obviously Derrick Henry as well. So both teams are going to get their points. I like the over as well, but I'm going to go with the Bucks to keep it at least close and cover the 3.5 points.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens here. I think this is kind of a big spot for the Buccaneers, like you said, coming off a huge performance against the Saints. What was that, last week, or was that Sunday?
Sunday.
That's what I thought. I was blanking on when that game was, but I like the Ravens here. Primetime spot on the road. Ravens do good in the primetime. I don't know if they'll cover the 3.5. I like them to get the win. I'll probably just take the -3 or hope it goes to 3, but I like the Ravens to cover this one.
Alrighty, one more Monday Night Football game here. The Los Angeles Chargers and the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals at home here, but the Chargers the favorite. 2.5 points, total 43.5. Chargers at minus 145 on the money line. Cardinals at plus 120. What do you guys think? It's a 9 p.m. Eastern game on Monday.
Only on ESPN Plus. They've been making a huge deal about how, and there's good reason. No one wants to watch this game. Everyone's going to be watching the Ravens-Bucks. I feel like this is a weird matchup. Two teams that are so close together geographically, and I feel like I don't know the last time they've played each other.
Yeah.
They're not in the same conference. They're not in, obviously, same division. This is a weird matchup. It's probably the last 7 years ago, Jesse, last time these two divisions had to play each other on the schedule. But I'm going to take the Chargers here. I don't like this game. I'm not betting it. I'll lean the Chargers. Mackie, what do you think?
I hate the Cardinals. I hate the Chargers. I'm definitely not going to have a play in this game because I'm not a fan of either team. But I'm going to lean on the Chargers as well. I think it's going to be tough on the road. But, I mean, they did look decent last week. Justin Herbert's a better quarterback, in my opinion. I know I hate on Kyler Murray a lot. I think he's playing better than I thought he would this week or this year. But I think Justin Herbert can get the job done, at least cover the 2.5 points. It's really low spread. Big win last week. Is it their second win in a row? No, they lost the Chiefs 17-10. This is a really shitty game. This is a really shitty game.
This isn't a good game.
Like I said, the conversation, I'm going to take the Chargers, but I'm not going to have a play on this.
Yeah, like I said, everyone's going to be watching Ravens-Bucks. That's actually a very good primetime game.
The last time these teams played was November 27th, 2022 in Arizona. Glendale.
Damn, 2 years.
Alrighty, but with that, we have a great Week 7 NFL slate coming up. Like I said, make sure to tune in for our NFL live stream Sunday mornings, 9:30 a.m. on YouTube, Rumble, and TikTok. Links in our bios of all of our social medias. So make sure you check us out there. But let's jump into some NHL here. The 2024 NHL season is underway. The Calgary Flames and Dallas Stars have emerged as the hottest teams of the season with 4-0 records. Mackey's Rangers 2-0-1. Huff's and Jesse's Penguins at 2-2. And Ace's Bruins also at 2-2. Curious to hear, what teams do you guys have an eye on as a dark horse playoff team this year? Mackie, you want to get rolling?
Dark horse? I don't know if they're really a dark horse anymore, but the Utah Hockey Club, obviously playing great hockey.
Clearly not, because that was going to be my answer too. So
yeah, I don't know if you can call them a dark horse anymore, but they're playing really well. They came into New York the other night and won a game in overtime. They're putting up a lot of points. That's what it is. So offense is high flying. Another team that could be a dark horse playoff team.
I like Minnesota in the West. They've been playing pretty good the first couple games. I think they have a decent team, not a good team. I think Utah is better than them. But to give you another one of those teams that probably not many people would say, I'll say Minnesota.
I think the Sens could be a playoff team as well. I know we've been saying it for a few years now, but I think they get over that hump this year. They got Olmark in net now, so a little more complete, and they just need a few more wins each year, and they'll get there. So I think they'll find a playoff spot this year.
Also, I like the Tampa Bay Lightning. I feel like a lot of people were counting them out. They kind of unloaded. Stamkos, not many people. I feel like they're not a dark horse, but like not many people are worried about the Lightning anymore.
I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but
really,
yeah, I think it's too tough. Maybe if the Sens make it, they're not gonna make it.
I was just gonna say there's Florida, Toronto, and then the Lightning or the
or Boston.
Yeah, true, Boston too, but.
I think Boston's going to get in that top three. I think the top three is going to be Florida, Toronto, and Boston, and then either the Lightning or the Sens are going to make it, and then somebody out of the Met. Caps are dead in the water. Probably Hurricanes, Rangers, Devils, top three. I don't know. Canadians are playing pretty good hockey as well, so you might only see three out of the Met this year. I don't love the Penguins. I guess they're not playing terrible to start, but I don't know. You guys think they're realistically a playoff team?
They can figure out a goalie, but I can't tell too early. They're too
tough,
old,
Mackie, right? Because the Rangers come in on opening night and kill us 6-0.
Yeah, but you can't overreact over that one. Almost.
Correct, but then we come and we've played fine hockey the last 3 games.
Yeah, and you still have a leader in Crosby, and you still have that core going. So
right,
I mean, you're definitely able to maybe squeak into a playoff spot. The roster's just not really deep enough. Maybe if you can win a few games, you're not supposed to.
I think we're gonna be one of those teams that we're gonna, we're catching some fire right now early in the season. We're gonna win, get a good record, and then we're gonna start to fall, and then we're gonna come back up, and we're gonna start to fall. It's a matter of time if come, April, we're all right. We're catching up some heat.
You're right there.
Can we keep it going? Keep it going. That's when you get into that wild card and all that jazz.
How much longer can they really trust Jari? I mean, you have a decent roster.
We're 4 games in, and they've already benched him.
Yeah.
So who's going to Delkovich?
No,
He's hurt.
it's not Nedeljkovic. It's some kid that's never played before. He got the 2 wins when we played.
Why do you still have Jari though? Why don't you guys make a move? I don't understand.
No one wants him.
Nobody wants him, but you could spend some money or move somebody else and get a new goalie.
It's because they give Jari. I would have loved him. It's because they gave Jari a 4 or 5 year deal before last season.
No way, before last season.
Yeah, before last season when he started shitting the bed.
So
he got paid and sucked.
After they blew a 3-1 series lead to the Rangers, you guys signed him 5 years.
Signed him for 4. I think it was 4 years, 20-something million. It's like $6 million a year.
Very bad front office move, and it's really coming to bite them in the ass. I feel bad.
I think it was right before Dubas came in. They gave him the new deal.
I was gonna say, was that a Dubas move or
no? It was right before Dubas got there. They re-signed him.
Listen, you guys can go out and get like Gorgiev, and he'd be a better.
I was just gonna say, I'd like that kid. Philly has 2 goalies. Like, make a trade with one of these teams that has 2 goalies.
Knight from Florida.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Someone like put some pressure
you
on
for cheap too. It's not like he's going to be an expensive guy. I mean, I get Markstrom. You got to pay him $8-9 million a year, but I don't even know how much he got.
Spencer Knight would be a good one.
But you can pay Spencer Knight $2 million a year, and you're good.
Yeah,
we'd be saving money if we got rid of Jari in that case.
I wanted us to be in the play for Allmark and like figure that out. I would have liked him.
Yeah, Sens really locked that one down.
I mean, anytime you get a former Vezina winner, I could talk myself into that being a good move, but I'm not.
They just extended him too.
Yeah.
They locked him in, so
he'll be there for a while.
Yeah. I like that team though.
Mm-hmm.
A little biased, but
if cool jerseys, I could root for him.
All right, let's jump into these power rankings here for the NHL real quick. Number 5, the Florida Panthers. Number 4, the Winnipeg Jets. Number 3, the New York Rangers. Number 2, the New Jersey Devils. And number 1, the undefeated Dallas Stars. Any thoughts on those?
Dallas is sick. Devils are pretty good. Rangers, Mackie, your Rangers, I think they'll leap those Devils soon. Jets look good out in the West, and I think Panthers. They lost again to Buffalo. They'll be in that top 3 in the coming weeks. I think pretty soon it's going to be Dallas, Rangers, Panthers right there.
Top 3 for a pretty long time, I think, as well. But I mean, obviously it's the first week into the season. You're going to see a lot of shit move around. Devils look pretty good to start. They have the 2-game jump, getting to play in where the hell was that?
Prague,
yeah. They played in Prague. They got 2 wins over there against a weaker Buffalo team.
I was wondering why they already had 6 games. I couldn't think about that. That is why.
Teams are still playing preseason. They were playing over in Prague and regular season games. But Devils are good too. They're gonna hang around and probably sit around our 5 spot, in and out. But I mean, you're gonna see a lot of teams jump in and out of this power ranking. I just think those top 3 are gonna be pretty consistent all year.
Yeah. I could see this be our list for a couple of weeks. It's just about the rearranging. I think Panthers go up, and I could see Jets and Devils sit at that 4 and 5 spot.
Flames sit at 4-0. We didn't want to jump the gun on them just yet. But
we'll see if they're here. We'll make a roll. If they're, I don't know how many games they have. If they win 3 out of their next 4, they can be in next week.
They also haven't really played. I mean, I guess the Oilers are a good team, but they beat the Canucks.
Battle of Alberta. That's like, you know what I mean.
They were down 4 or 5-1 against the Canucks, or 4-1, and they ended up winning 6-5 in overtime. That was a pretty big win. But, they got the Kraken coming up. Got to play the Penguins, the Hurricanes, Jets. So if they can get 3 out of 4 wins there, we can put them in there.
Yeah.
Already, lots of good stuff there out of the NHL with that season here rolling along. The NBA season is approaching with the NBA preseason underway. The regular season tipping off Tuesday, October 22nd. Let's take a look at what teams Let's take a look at what teams we like to win their respective divisions, conferences, and then the NBA final. Next week, we'll dive into some individual awards in the NBA, such as MVP. Starting out here with the Atlantic Division, the Celtics, the favorite here at -150 for them. Knicks behind them at +200. 76ers at +500. And Raptors at Nets in the 6 digits or 5 digits.
I'm going to be biased in the Knicks. I think that they can get there, but what do you guys think about that Knicks roster for Cat?
I think it's going to be that's the closest chance they have. I think that they're very competitive with Boston because you know how I feel about the Celtics. I don't think they're world beaters. A lot of people are now picking the Knicks. I'm also, I know you kind of count out obviously the 76ers. I'm not picking them to win this division. I think they're going to be a pesky team, but we keep seeing all this stuff about Embiid. I can't put any faith in that team.
Crazy, dude. It's insane.
I'll take if as far as winning the division, I'll take the Celtics just because winning a division in the NBA means next to nothing. I'll take the Celtics, but I do think the Knicks are geared to beat the Celtics in the playoffs. I just think the Celtics will dominate more regular season games.
Yeah,
and I think they'll be the 1 seed again.
Knicks went from one of the deepest teams in the league to having no bench whatsoever, but that starting five is next to the best in the league. So
they'll fill in that bench. That starting five is going to play so much. It's really just the regular season. They just got to build a lead because, like you said, they're so used to having a good bench. I feel like DiVincenzo is a huge part of that team. I love to see him go to Minnesota, but you lose Cat, so you get a huge piece back. I think that's going to be a very good team. But like I said, division means nothing in the NBA. I'll take the Celtics, but if it comes down to the playoffs, I definitely think that's a pick'em series against the Celtics with the Knicks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. Should be good.
Tuesday, first game, Celtics-Knicks.
Not too bad. Going to be a good one here. Moving over to the Central Division here. Bucks the favorite, -120. Cavs at +200. Pacers +400. Bulls and Pistons up there a good ways. What do you guys think?
In my opinion, there's no value on the Bucks. I think they never really found their stride last year. They could definitely find their stride this year and be top 3 team in the league, honestly. But I'm gonna go with the value on the Pacers there. I think the Pacers
just going
are
to
only
say that.
getting
I like
better.
the value on the Pacers, 4-1.
Really good odds there. So I'll go with the Pacers.
I even like Cleveland, 2-1, but I'll take the Pacers at the value at 4-1.
Agreed.
Alrighty, moving forward here. Southeast Division, Magic -150 leading the board there. Heat +165. Hawks +1100. Hornets +3500. Wizards 50,000.
I think this is the worst division in basketball, and the Magic are the best team in it, so give me the Magic.
Yeah, it's crazy the Magic are -150, but yeah, I guess I'll take the Magic as well. No value in that. Nobody should take that, but I think they have the best record in that division.
Southwest here, Mavs leading the board at +135. Grizzlies +250. Pelicans +375. Rockets +600. Spurs +2500.
Mavs. Luka. Rockets a sneaky pick, though.
Who?
I think Rockets. I like that.
Come
Rockets
on,
team.
relax.
I like that Rockets team. I like the value there as well.
Relax.
I want to say I want to say my Spurs at plus 2,500, but they didn't do enough. I like Stephon Castle. I like Wemby. I love what they're building down there. They didn't do enough. They get Chris Paul.
Give it 2 years.
Give it 2 years, and the Spurs will be in that top 2 picture in that division.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Mavs. Is that same division we were talking about?
Yeah, Mavs, Grizzlies, Pelicans, Rockets, Spurs.
Yeah, not higher than the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I'm not either. Or the Pelicans, to be honest. This next one's good. This next one's the good one.
Northwest Division here. Thunder at -130. Timberwolves at +250. Nuggets at +325. Jazz and Trailblazers at +30,000.
Those 3 teams are too close, so I'm not gonna be too biased and say the Timberwolves. I do like the value on them. I will say the Timberwolves will win this, but I like that +250. But I think the Thunder are gonna win more games, so take that for what it's worth. The Thunder are probably going to win this division, but the Timberwolves, I like the value there. I like the value on the Nuggets. I'd rather take the Timberwolves and the Nuggets and just hope it's not the Thunder. But that Thunder team is very good. I'm very excited for this NBA season just because I want to see these 3 teams again. I can't wait to watch more. I mean, some of those Thunder Timberwolves games, Timberwolves Nuggets, that series last year was awesome. I really just want to get back to the NBA as soon as possible, but the first couple weeks of the NBA sucks because no one tries, but I'll take what I can get.
Give me the Nuggets. Give me Joker to be back on top of the Western Conference. I think they get the 1 seed this year. I think the Thunder overachieved last year. I think they're still going to be a top 3 seed. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to go with the big dog here and go with Joker.
Yeah, that's
This is a tough one.
What, the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only one that's actually a pick.
You find good value on who's got the worst odds? Probably the Warriors.
Jesse, go ahead. Pacific.
Yep, Pacific Division here. Suns at +180. Kings +275. Warriors +375. Lakers +400. Clippers at +1200.
Give me the Lakers. Even though the Warriors have been looking very good in preseason, give me the Lakers.
Mac, you look confused.
I'm just surprised the Warriors have the third best odds. They didn't really do much. There's no support for Curry, but I think there's good value on the Lakers, good value on the Warriors. Clippers are probably going to be dead to water with Kawhi playing 45 games a year and no Paul George, obviously. I would not take the Kings. If I was going to take anyone, you're going to take the Suns, Warriors, or Lakers.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Warriors just because I love Steph Curry, but I wouldn't be surprised with the Suns. I don't really think the Lakers are going to win the division.
Alrighty, let's jump in and see who you guys think are going to win the NBA Finals here for this year. Celtics leading the board at plus 325. Knicks behind them at plus 650. Tied with the Thunder at plus 650. 76ers and Nuggets at plus 1,000. Mavs and Timberwolves at plus 1,200 to round out that top 7.
Great value in the Mavs at plus 1,200. Knicks at plus 650 is not good value. I know you could have got them at plus 1,000 before
What's
they made
this
any
for?
moves.
Finals.
No value in the Celtics. You're not going to take a plus 380 to win a finals before the season even starts. So many things that happen within those 82 games. But I think the Mavs are the best value here at plus 1,200, obviously coming off a finals run. But I'm going to go with the Knicks plus 650 with no value.
I'm going to go what I thought it was going to be last year. Knicks to win the East plus 350. And the Timberwolves to win the West plus 500. And I think there's good value. Oh, wait. That's easy. Yeah, Knicks plus 650 is tough. I think I missed the value there. Give me Timberwolves plus 1,200. I know that's my bias pick, but I think they're going to be right back where they were last year.
Yeah, I got a pretty biased pick too, so fair. I got the Mets at plus 5,500. And now they're probably...
You did?
Yeah, in a parlay, though.
Oh.
The Mets, not the Knicks.
Mets are plus 400 to win the World Series right now.
That's too high. That is too high. Good value on the Mets plus 400. Great value.
Alrighty, boys, lots of good stuff out of the NBA. Again, that season begins Tuesday, October 22nd, as we continue through the NFL, NHL, and MLB postseason. Let's jump into some college football here, heading over to the AP Top 25 here for Week 8. Texas leading the board for that. Oregon behind them at number 2. Penn State moving up to number 3. Ohio State at 4. Georgia 5. Miami at 6. Alabama at 7. LSU at 8. Iowa State at 9. Clemson at 10. Anybody else that you guys want to see specifically?
No, but your Penn State Nittany Lions getting a huge comeback win in USC last week. That was a crazy game.
Yeah, wait till they have to run in Ohio State, and they're probably going to lose by 30, but good for them.
Where is that game?
It's in Penn State. It's in Happy Valley, actually.
Yeah,
but
Penn State just never does good against them.
I hate Drew Aller, dude. He's I just don't think he shows up in big games. I guess he's playing pretty well this year. Huge come from behind win. But I guess USC is really not that good. But I guess that was a really big win.
And we get a top 5 matchup with Texas, Georgia this week. So we're gonna see some different rankings next week.
I cannot keep listening to you talk about Texas. I can't. Did you go to West Virginia or what? What is going on?
They're a fun team, dude.
Yeah, they're not that fun.
They're pretty fun.
All right, they're a little fun, but you shouldn't admit it.
Very fun.
Oregon looks really good too. Obviously, after they had a really bad week 1, but they've definitely turned it up. Dylan Gabriel looks good.
Week 1 and 2. That was a crazy game against Ohio State.
Yeah, that was incredible. And
that was right up there with game of the year, like Georgia Bama, but Georgia Bama just had a way better ending.
Yeah, I could see Oregon getting there as well. I love Dylan Gabriel. So
yeah, you've been big on him since he was Oklahoma.
Yeah, big time. But yeah, some other teams. I guess Iowa State escaped West Virginia. I guess it wasn't really that
was going to win that.
I took him too last second because I was like, I'll take him. It's kind of a trap spot as well, but Neil Brown doesn't know how to do anything against ranked opponents, so I guess that was kind of really stupid. But they're sitting at 9th. LSU 8. I'm not high on LSU.
What is he at 15? Genty's getting the boys up there. Is there a chance that they make it to the playoffs?
There's definitely a chance. They obviously have to win out, but I mean, dude, they can win out.
They lost this to Oregon, who's the number 2 team in the country.
They lost by 3.
Yeah.
They just don't have. if they should easily win out. They're gonna make it. They're gonna make it.
They're gonna be the 12th team, I think.
I don't know, because now you don't really have to. You don't really have to do that.
I just think it's
know what I
so
mean?
like there's games this weekend that are like do or die. Like Bama, Tennessee, like that's whoever loses that game has 2 losses.
Yeah, but both those teams are making it with 2 losses. But that's a spot where you could put Boise State over the team with 2 losses, because you're not looking at the best 4 teams anymore. You could take 12 teams that would be in it regardless, and you could rank them based on their season performances, because they all have a chance anyway.
Because
they're all making the playoffs.
If Tennessee loses this game, they'd lose to number 7 Alabama. It is in Tennessee, so it would be a home loss. Obviously, SEC, that's not a bad loss to Alabama, but with them sitting at 5-1, already at 11, you got to think they knock back to at least 15.
Yeah, and then you just got to win out afterwards. But
yeah,
I mean, like last year, if there was a 12-team playoff, Florida State is ahead of Georgia and probably Alabama as well.
Yeah,
but the only reason they didn't is because they want you want the top 4 teams, and when it's only 4 teams that are going to make it, you need the most competitive. But when you have 12 teams in it, you could put Boise, a 1-loss Boise team, over a 2-loss Tennessee team, even though Tennessee's probably the better team. So I could see Boise being a top 8 seed, but
another fun team
when they run into like Texas or Oregon or Georgia, I think that they're gonna have their problem.
Oh, it's going to be a 42.5 point spread if they run into an SEC team.
I don't know, 42.5. I don't know, but
you know what I mean. It's going to be like 26.5. Like they're not going to be able to score unless he runs a 70-yard touchdown.
They did prove it against Oregon.
Would they lose 30-27? Oregon's a different team.
They lost by 3. I don't know what the score was.
I think it was 30-27 if I remember that correctly. But
I think so.
I just, if they get like Ohio State, dude, Ohio State's a 27-point favorite against them.
Ohio State is so good too.
Yeah, they really are.
I could see them winning a national championship, but then again, Ohio State.
I love that receiver, Smith. He's crazy.
Yeah, Smith and who's that guy in Alabama again? I don't know.
Ryan Williams are both 17, but I like the receivers on OSU. You get Jeremiah Smith and that Igbuka.
Yeah, he was there last year. Igbuka, yeah.
And then Carnell Tate. Their offense is so good.
Yeah, college football is definitely getting... Dude, this 12-team playoff is so sick. I can't wait for it. But this is probably the best week of college football we've seen in years.
I think so. We have a couple matchups here to go over. Starting out Nebraska, heading to Indiana to visit. Yeah.
I also want to say this. I don't think Miami's the 6th team in the country right now. They've won their last 2 games by the skin of their teeth. One, I thought they should have lost to Virginia Tech, but they are sitting there in the 6. I do like seeing the U back, and Cam Ward is very good, so I do hope they make the playoffs. I just don't think they're a top 6 team right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's run through a couple of these top games here this weekend. Starting out at noon on Saturday, Nebraska heading to Indiana. 6.5 points for Indiana, the total of 50.5. Any thoughts on this one?
Dylan Raiola plus 6.5. I'm not high on Indiana, but I guess they're.
Did you watch any of their games? Indiana.
I've definitely seen, like, I've never watched a full game, but I've seen highlights from their game.
Yeah, I don't know much about them. I'm not going to give a pick on this game. I'm going to look into this game a little bit more. I kind of done the same thing. I've watched bits and pieces of their games. I look at this and I know a lot. I know this Nebraska team. It's telling me take Nebraska plus the 6.5, but I want to do my research on this Indiana team before I lay that number.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a closer game. I'm not going to say they're going to win this game, but I do like them plus.
Yeah. Indiana's coach is like, I like him. He's like, look me up, I win.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said that in a post conference when someone asked him, like, what's this win mean to you? And he was like, look me up, I win.
Nothing new.
Yeah, so it's nothing new. I like him.
Already another matchup here, Alabama and Tennessee. In Tennessee, the Alabama Crimson Tide is the favorite here. 3 points for them. Total at 56.5. Alabama minus 160 on the money line. Tennessee plus 130. Any thoughts on this?
Alabama is struggling as of late. I'm surprised to see them come in as 3-point favorites, but I do love Jalen Milroe. I think they kind of get back on track here. It's a huge game. Obviously, it's very hard to go in Tennessee and play a game, but if anyone could do it, it is that juggernaut Alabama team. I'm gonna go with the Bama minus the 3 here. I think it's a sketchy line. I think you're gonna see a lot of money on Tennessee. So give me Jalen Milroe.
I'm also on Bama here. I think you get that weird spot last week. They pull out late against Alabama. South Carolina's not able to convert the 2-point conversion to tie the game late and send it to overtime. The week before, they lose in Vanderbilt. Like you said, they're in kind of a funk right now. This is one of those big games you got to be able to get up for. Their last big win is against Georgia at home. What we were calling the game of the year. I think this has potential to be like that. You get Ayama Lieva for Tennessee. I love that running back for Tennessee. Jalen Milroe, Ryan Williams. This is going to be a great game. Saturday afternoon, 3:30 kickoff. Give me Alabama to cover that number.
Alrighty, keep it going here. 7 p.m. on Saturday, LSU in Arkansas. LSU the favorite, just 3 points there. 55.5 is the total, minus 145 on the money line for LSU, plus 120 for Arkansas. Lots of money on LSU. What do you guys think? Early money.
Yeah, you figured there'd be a lot of money on LSU. I'm not high on this Arkansas team. I think their quarterback sucks, but I mean, it's probably gonna be 90% of money on LSU. I'm probably gonna stay away from this one. I also said I'm not very high on this LSU team, but
I have a new rule. Last week, I know it was your play, but this is now my new rule. I can't bet against LSU if they have an 8 o'clock game at home.
what do you mean? What is my play? What did I have last week?
Ole Miss -2 or 3, whatever it was.
-4. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah,
I think that game said more about Ole Miss than it did about LSU. But yeah, it's a really hard place to go into play. It is.
I
too.
agree. That's definitely one of the
Especially
hardest
at night.
environments, especially in the prime time.
Yeah, but that doesn't come into play in this week. Who do
In
you
this
got?
game, I'll take the risk. I'll take LSU -3.
Yeah, public's been kind of eating, so wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm not going to overlook this one. I also don't think Arkansas is going to be able to hang with them. I think LSU's defense stifles that offense. Kind of like the under as well, but it's scary to take the under in LSU games because that offense can get going.
I was thinking the over.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid it, especially now that you said that.
Alrighty, final game here, 7:30 p.m. on Saturday. Georgia heading into Texas. Texas the favorite here, -5. Total 55.5. Texas money line -200. Georgia at +165. Money's about even on the spreads, but a lot more money on the money line for Texas. What do you guys think?
I know what you're gonna say. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go with Texas here. I think they get the job done at home. Quinn Ewers obviously doing his thing. 34-3 win last week over Oklahoma. That defense did their thing. Gonna have their hands a little more full this week against Georgia, but I think they get the job done. I think they win by a touchdown. It's gonna be close down to the wire to the end of the game. But Texas is a better team here, and I think they get the job done and stay undefeated.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Texas is the better team here. What scares me is if they get this potential rematch in the college football playoff at some point later on down the road.
Beating a team twice.
Yeah, or even in the SEC title game, something like that. It really could be anything, but this would be Georgia's second loss of the year. I picked Alabama to win this week, so look for maybe Georgia to slide down the rankings a little bit if they lose this one. Give me Texas. I like them to come in here. They've been playing hell of a good football. Georgia, on the other hand, I know they're the back-to-back or national titles champions, whatever you want to call them. 31 points last week to Mississippi State. They lose to Alabama a few weeks ago in an absolute barn burner shootout, 75-yard final play. That game against Auburn, they handled their business, but Georgia's had a couple games this year where they just didn't look like Georgia football, and I think this is going to be one where Texas starts fast, starts quick at that. Obviously, I can never remember what their stadium's called. Texas Memorial Stadium. It's like something at that, but they always start fast there. I think they will in this one. First really big game in the SEC for them. Give me Texas.
Yeah, and you start slow in this game, you're not going to be able to come back. So I'm going to go with Texas as well.
I'm not big on Carson Beck. I was coming into this year. He just hasn't shown enough to me.
I was never big on him.
Yeah, I like them. I've always kind of liked Georgia and like that team. I love a lot of their pieces they have. This year, I don't see it with that team.
Should be a good game.
And they also have what's his name that I like, Travis Etienne's brother.
Yeah, from Florida.
Yeah, he transferred.
Alrighty, boys, that's going to do it here this week. Everything we got in the NFL Week 7, some preseason NBA, some college football, postseason MLB and the NHL seasons rolling. Anything else to add before we get out of here?
I think that's it. Make sure to stay tuned for our NFL live stream on Sunday. College football plays coming out on Saturday. MLB playoffs as well. Mackey's Mets going into Game 3 tonight. The NLCS. Yankees get their series going in Cleveland tomorrow, up 2-0. Playoff baseball is going. NHL is back. NBA starts Tuesday. NFL this weekend. College football. Sports are in its absolute best time of the year. Mackie, the last thing we got is college basketball starting up in a few weeks, and we'll be fully back.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, that's going to do it. Thanks for coming out. See you everyone next week.